In the dim, fire-lit shadows of early human history, where superstition and survival danced hand in hand, the concept of black magic was born. It didn't emerge from a single moment or place, but rather from the deep, primal fears and desires that have always haunted the human heart. Long before written words captured the stories of gods and demons, people lived in small, close-knit tribes. Their world was one of constant danger: predators, famine, disease, and the unpredictable wrath of nature. Survival depended not only on physical strength, but on a deep connection with the unseen forces that seemed to govern the world around them. In those days, the line between the spiritual and the physical was thin. Everything had a spirit: the animals they hunted, the rivers they drank from, even the rocks and trees. To navigate this world, shamans, those believed to possess special knowledge of these spirits, held positions of power within their communities. These shamans were the first to tap into what we now call magic, though for them, it was simply a means of survival, a way to communicate with the forces of nature, to heal the sick, to bring rain, or to ensure a successful hunt. But where there is power, there is also the potential for its misuse. As human society evolved, so did the complexity of its desires and fears. Jealousy, ambition, and the thirst for revenge began to creep into the hearts of men and women. The magic that had once been used to heal and protect began to be twisted into something darker, a tool for those who sought to harm others, to control them, or to gain power for themselves. This was the birth of black magic. The first practitioners of black magic were often those who felt powerless in the face of their enemies or circumstances. They turned to the spirits, not with offerings and prayers for protection, but with demands and curses. They sought to manipulate the unseen forces of the world for their own gain, willing to risk the wrath of the gods or the spirits for the sake of their desires. In ancient civilizations like Egypt, Mesopotamia, and Greece, records began to appear of rituals and spells intended to curse enemies, cause illness, or even bring death. These early forms of black magic were feared and condemned by society, yet they persisted, passed down in secret by those who believed in their power. The fear of black magic was not just about the potential harm it could cause, it was also about what it represented. Black magic was a rebellion against the natural order, an attempt to subvert the will of the gods or the balance of nature. It was a dark mirror to the sacred rituals that sought to maintain harmony in the world. Where traditional magic was about aligning oneself with the forces of nature, black magic was about bending those forces to one's will, regardless of the consequences. The practitioners of black magic were often outcasts, feared and shunned by their communities. They were the ones who lived on the fringes of society, in the dark forests or desolate wastelands, places where the boundary between the human and the supernatural was blurred. These were the witches, sorcerers, and necromancers, figures both reviled and respected for their dangerous knowledge. But black magic was not just the domain of the outcasts. Even the powerful kings, queens, and emperors sometimes turned to these dark practices when they felt threatened or when their ambitions outstripped their moral constraints. In these cases, black magic became a tool of political power, a way to eliminate rivals or secure one's rule. The allure of black magic was its promise of control in a world where so much was beyond human control. It offered a way to strike back at fate, to change the course of events, to exact revenge on those who had wronged you. But the cost was always high. The use of black magic was believed to taint the soul, to invite dark forces into one's life that could never be fully controlled. Many stories tell of those who used black magic only to be consumed by it, their lives ending in madness, despair, or a cursed existence. In the end, the story of black magic is a deeply human one. It is about the struggle for power in a world where we often feel powerless. It is about fear, fear of the unknown, fear of others, fear of our own darker impulses. And it is about desire, the desire for control, for revenge, for something more than what the world seems willing to give. Black magic continues to fascinate and terrify because it speaks to something fundamental in the human condition, the conflict between our aspirations and our fears, between our better nature and the darkness that lurks within us all. It is a story as old as humanity itself, a story that, like a shadow, will always follow us, just out of sight,